Blake Shinn is one of the best jockeys in the business, and it's fantastic to have him back from a stint in Hong Kong to be part of this Melbourne Spring Carnival. Well, it's great to have you back home, Blake. Obvious question to me is why Melbourne, not Sydney, where you've had so much success?
Look, the main reason was my family are here. Melbourne was where I've grown up. Obviously, Sydney was where I was based for 10 years prior to coming back to Melbourne. But having not seen my family for 3 years and been in Hong Kong for that time, I thought I'll come here for the Spring Carnival. The spring's upon us. I'll ride in arguably the best carnival in the world and, kill two birds with one stone.
You could go to Sydney after the carnival?
There's a possibility. It's an open book at the moment. I'm enjoying my time here in Melbourne. I'm loving going to Seymour and riding my family's horses and doing little things like that, and seeing all the faces that I've grown up with as a young apprentice and riding for a lot of old connections. It's wonderful.
So let's talk about Hong Kong. Terrific success over there. You had to work really hard, not surprising at all you had to do that. But as an outsider looking in, it seemed like you just made it, or you were just really starting to make it when you decided to come home.
Yeah, for sure. It's not an easy place to break in. It does take time. A lot of people were surprised when I did make the call to leave, especially when I had felt like I'd broken in and established the connections that I was building. But we only have one shot at life, and it's, you've got to enjoy it and you've got to be happy. And ultimately I wasn't happy there in living. My riding was going really well, but, when I haven't seen my friends and family, and I wasn't just in 100% happy with how lifestyle was over there. So I made the call to come home and get some normality back in my life.
Your best moments over there?
Look, I had a lot of good moments, but I'd say winning on Russian Emperor in the Hong Kong Cup, beating Golden 60 was definitely one of the highlights.
Russian Emperor's well clear. Blake Shinn's going to get his Golden 60 redemption with an absolute brilliant ride on Russian Emperor.
He was bred, in Australia. He went to Ireland and raced. So to win on him, he was so recognised around the world. It was very special. And Douglas White, who trained him, he was a 13-time champion over there. So, yeah, there was a lot of things that made that win so memorable.
Going back to the start of your career, I think whiz kid's a fair term, because success for you was instant. 16 years of age winning an Adelaide Cup on demerge at 21 years of age winning a Melbourne Cup for none other than Bart Cummings on View. That's really pinch yourself stuff, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I dreamed of that stuff when I was a little kid. I always wanted to be a jockey. I watched all the big races. And to fulfill them moments, it's stuff what dreams are made of. And, to do it, yeah, it's incredible.
Is there any downside to it? And by that I mean, does it set a bar so high for you that it's hard to sort of get back to that?
Not really. You just keep trying to raise the bar and keep trying to set new targets and new goals and new aspirations, and that's what keeps us striving for more.
Now, talking about you, and I'm interested in your take on this, because there is a perception in some quarters you're a little bit polarising. People either like you or they're not so sure about you. How do you react to that?
Well, I feel that people may not really know who I am, who make that assumption. I'm a bit of an aloof. I'm an introvert. I'm quiet. People are easy to judge people like that, I feel. I think I've got a lot of good friends and a lot of good support within the industry, and yeah, I think it doesn't really bother me too much who judges me in a negative way.
To that point, is the 34-year-old Blake Shinn a lot different from the 20-year-old?
I still believe, obviously, I'm the same person, but I've grown up a lot. I'm a lot, obviously, more mature. I can cope with the pressures of the racing and the riding a lot better. I'm excited of the age that I am now because I'm talented as a rider, but there's more to just being a talent. You've got to be the complete package to be an absolute, the top of your profession.
Coming back into the spring, how have you gone about re-establishing yourself? I mean, you haven't got the horses you've been riding leading into a spring carnival. How do you go about it all?
You're basically starting a business up again. I know I've got some established relationships from back when I was in Sydney and in Australia previously, and you're calling upon them, such as, say, Dolphin or the Snowdens and Chris Wallers and, people like that. But at the end of the day, they've got their jockeys who have been riding for them for many years. So it is hard to break in. But we just go slow and steady. We've got a good agent, Liam Pryor, and we just work hard, chip away, and hopefully, our riding can do the talking.
They talk about how strong the Sydney jockeys room is, and at the pointy end, that's probably right, but the depth in Melbourne is extraordinary.
Yeah, 100%. There's an array of jockeys, Sydney and Melbourne, that you could throw the colours to and they could get the job done. So that's why it's quite difficult to walk in and get the opportunities. There's a lot of youth in the jockeys room, and you can observe them and watch.
It's a good room?
It's a good room, and you can never stop learning.
You went bang straight away and got that double at Caulfield, but gee, it's been frustrating since with a couple of suspensions.
It has, through my own fault.
Are you trying too hard?
No, I don't believe so. I just think it's just unforced errors that have probably honestly held me back my whole career at certain moments, but we never can always look at them and try and learn from them. Obviously, it was an indiscretion with the whip, and the race that got taken away from me at Flemington, I let the horse shift and cost me the race. So I'm not blaming anyone else. It's something that I've got to look at and work on.
Spacewalk, the horse you talk about that you lost on protest, but the broader picture of that is the support you're getting from Dolphin and James Cummings.
Yes, he's been really, really good. Obviously, before I went to Hong Kong, I had some great support from Godolphin and James. I've had a long association with him and his family, and it's nice to walk straight back into Victoria and ride for him. Reggie Fleming's his foreman.
Great character.
He was with Bart when I won the Melbourne Cup. It's nice to be teaming up with him.
How do you go about this? So a lot of jockeys now, they may not have them, but they got some sort of plan towards Cox Plate, Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup. Blank canvas for you. How do you go about that?
Yes, well, you're just constantly trying to identify the horses that you might think might be available, see what opportunities are, make sure I'm in good form, and hopefully one will present themselves for me.
All right, we'll keep the fingers crossed. Blake, it's tremendous to have you back, particularly part of this Melbourne Carnival. Best of luck over the next massive couple of months.
Thanks very much, Adam. Cheers.